Hello, how you doing? It's been a while, but I'm back. Things are going well. I'm now just under 260 pounds, 259.8. So I've lost just over 40 pounds in about uh, 2 months and 2 weeks. And I've gotten into a nice rhythm. For a while there, I was attempting to do intermittent fasting where I did alternate day fasting. And that was proving to be a little tricky for me. So I've settled into a 1 hour eating window. So right now, because of COVID and I'm home isolating and working from home, um, my window is from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I usually have one meal, probably around 1,000 calories altogether. So I guess you could say, and I'm also something pairs really nicely with intermittent fasting, and that's the keto diet. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. If you're not, I'll go over it briefly. Both intermittent fasting and the keto diet. Well, keto's in the name. They try to put you in a state of ketosis, where instead of relying on stored carbohydrates or sugar to provide you energy, sugar broken down by insulin. Instead, your body is using ketones, which you produce in a state of ketosis for energy, and also it burns. You're relying on fat. You're burning fat when you're in ketosis. So the kinds of things that you eat when you're I got a little list here. When you're on a keto diet, meat, green leafy vegetables, eggs, yogurt, cheese, olive or coconut oils, nuts and seeds, avocados, cauliflower, berries, heavy whipping cream, and tea and coffee. Um, so I've actually downloaded a $10 keto recipe book, and the recipes are pretty straightforward, and the ingredients are pretty easy to find. A little difficult to find, more difficult to find during the COVID crisis, but that keeps the meals interesting. Um, but anyway, what I'm finding is that during the 23 hours a day that I'm not eating, I don't experience severe hunger at all. And in fact, I feel quite a lot of mental acuity, and I'm sleeping well, and I'm burning fat. So I do not foresee hitting any kind of wall where my metabolism slows down or my body thinks I'm starving or something. Um, you know, I think this is just a great combination, intermittent fasting. And again, if you're going to try it, you don't have to start out doing it as severely as I am at this point. And you need not ever do it as severely as I am. You may choose to do a 6 hour eating window where you just essentially avoid breakfast, maybe have a coffee or a tea in the morning, and just have maybe a light lunch and then a heavier dinner. But in my case, I don't know, I just feel like I've gotten into a good rhythm here, and I really just feel, don't forget, one of the underlying risk factors for um, dying from COVID is diabetes, and I was told back in January that I have type 2 diabetes, but I believe that it can be put into remission permanently through losing weight, and I believe that intermittent fasting and the keto diet are going to allow me to put my diabetes in remission. I'm going to have my blood sugar tested in about a month and a half at the end of May. 3 to 3.5 is normal blood sugar. 3.3, sorry, to 5.5 I've had my blood sugar tested twice in January and February, and it was 10 and 8. And hopefully when I have it done in May, it'll be back within a normal range. I've noticed that the symptoms of diabetes, like thirst and frequent urination and a pins and needles feeling in your fingers and toes, your hands and your feet, which is indicative of nerve damage, scary, they have dissipated, or, in terms of thirst and frequent urination, they're completely gone. So I think I'm headed on the right track, and I'm pretty excited about the fact that I've nestled in nicely to a pairing of two things that I feel very comfortable with, which is the 1 hour eating window a day and a keto diet. Let me give you an idea of what a typical eating session would look like. There's all kinds of lovely recipes for stuffed chicken breasts, where you're putting, maybe Tex-Mex seasoning and cheese and, perhaps bacon inside of a chicken breast, and then you have a nice spinach and lettuce salad with perhaps olive oil with some Italian seasoning in it. And then for dessert, a nice bowl of plain yogurt and frozen raspberries. I really like the effect the frozen raspberries have on the yogurt. It kind of makes it into kind of a almost ice cream type feel to it and taste to it. So that was something I would eat during my 1 hour. Probably, again, probably approaches 800, 900,000 calories. And then I'm good to go for the next 23 hours. So again, I think that I would describe what I'm doing now as a combination of keto, which is inherently involves calorie restriction, and also intermittent fasting. So calorie restriction, keto, and intermittent fasting are helping me to lose weight quickly, and I also believe it's going to put my type 2 diabetes in remission, which is really important, especially during these scary times where someone like me, I also have asthma. So having three risk factors, obesity, asthma, and diabetes, is a scary thing, and I'm rapidly, I think, asthma is just a lifelong thing. There's really no known cure for it. But I believe that I'm rapidly getting rid of my problem of obesity and diabetes. So, and like I say, I'm really comfortable with how I'm doing it right now. And the results speak for themselves. Again, I've gone from 300 pounds to, 259.8, and my goal is 180. I'm trying to maintain an average of losing about 3 pounds a week. I've read online that it's, more traditional ways of losing weight say you can healthily lose 1 or 2 pounds. So, losing 3 is not an extreme amount over, what people normally say. And this is fat. What you want to lose is, in my case, stomach fat, right? So, and bring back the insulin sensitivity of my muscles and my liver is something I hope to achieve as well. So it's all good news. I hope you're, isolating is tough. I know if you're like me, I'm pretty much doing it by myself. I've been doing a good job. I'm like one of the lucky ones who I get to work from home, and I am keeping a lot of contact with. I want to, by the way, do a shout out to my number one subscriber, RK27, Rooster27. The guy is a rock. He's supportive of all my diaries, and tell you a little bit about him. He's actually an inspiration. He's a very fit man, great shape, no issues with diabetes or anything like that, because he's maintained a good shape for many, many years. And he never judged me at all when you could see I was struggling with my weight, and he was and he was never, you know, he was concerned, but he wasn't critical. And now that I'm losing weight, he's very supportive. I really shout out RK. I really appreciate that. And at the same time, I'd like to have somebody on board. I am doing this video journal largely for myself and my number one subscriber, but it would be interesting if somebody out there was like me. I call this almost morbidly obese dude because I literally was point 0.4 away from being morbidly obese on the BMI body index. 40 is morbidly obese, and I was 39.6. And if you are in that situation where you're either morbidly obese or almost morbidly obese or just simply overweight, watch some of my videos. Start to find your own form of intermittent fasting that works best for you. Consider the keto diet, pairing it with it, because I'm telling you, it really goes nicely together. And I don't know if I've emphasized it enough. One of the things about intermittent fasting and keto together is that it really slams the brakes on your appetite. You just do not have a gnawing hunger for the 23 hours of the day you're not eating it. You don't have cravings. It's almost like you just know, you just feel like you're in that state of ketosis where you're burning fat and using ketones that your body's producing for energy rather than stored carbohydrates and insulin broken down sugar. So, but just try it. You'd be surprised about the incredible recuperative ability of the human body. I'm not proud of it, but I spent years, decades, eating highly processed foods, and you know what? That could be him right now. Yes, it is. So here, I'm gonna do it right now. Hold on. RK, guess what? You're live on a diary. Say hello. You're live on a diary. Say hello. Nice and loud. You're in the big time. So I'm going to call you back in a second, okay? Like a couple minutes. I'm almost done, all right? All right, talk to you. Bye. All right, well, there you go. He's a real person. Okay, so anyway, this is the time to try it because it's all about being healthy and feeling better about yourself and feeling good. I'm telling you, my life is so much easier after dropping 40 pounds. I've got an arthritic hip. It's so much easier for me to get around. And I am locked and loaded. My goal is to get to 180. It's 120 pounds. I'm a third of the way there now. I've lost 40 pounds, and it's only been 2.5 months. So if I can do it, you can do it. Try it out. Like I say, I've been going decades just eating highly processed foods, a lot of carbohydrates, dealing with, unresolved emotional issues through eating and just being in denial. And, I probably was always, most of my adult life from 30s on, I was somewhat overweight, like, maybe 20 pounds overweight. And sometimes I would go up to 40 or 50 pounds overweight and then diet and bring it back down to 20 pounds overweight. But then, in the last few years when I just blimped up and, had some very serious health issues surrounding, especially with diabetes. We're talking potential cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, amputations, nerve damage in your hands and feet. Really horrible, horrible stuff. And I've also heard that diabetes is associated with Alzheimer's. So now was the time. And like I say, my body has responded incredibly. I'm so thankful. I am limited somewhat quite a bit by my hip. So, I am doing resistance training and I was, swimming and doing stationary bike. Now during the COVID isolation, I haven't been able to do those two things. But remember, you can have great strides without having to become some kind of crazy workout person, okay? Um, anyway, guys, take care. Um, get on board, somebody out there, and just incrementally, day by day, change the way you eat, change your relationship with eating, and regain your health. Putting your type 2 diabetes, if you have it, into remission, getting rid of all of the big, huge, bags of fat that we all have, all of us who are obese that we have, and we don't want. All right? All right, I'm thinking about you guys. Stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.